issues yet. We basically narrowed down the exact case because the fundamental principle was if it's above 10, then the Eruv is not good on the tree. If it's below 10, the Eruv is good on the tree. The question, what was the difference? So we introduced Rava's idea of the city filling up. We introduced the idea that everybody's Dalet Amos is one, that everybody's Eruv has a Dalet Amos domain around it, and that makes it like Rishus HaYachid. So how did we work it out? We worked out that we had a bent tree with a going vertically, they went horizontally, and then we asked the kasha, but why can't you just go over through the top and go over it, and then you'd be passing through the airspace of Rishus HaYachid, so everything is fine. And the answer is that with the cases, we said that the branch was 9 tfachim off the ground, and it followed Ula. He says that when you have an Amud 9 tfachim off the ground, everybody rests on that Amud in Rishus HaRabim, even though it's 9 high, it's more than 3 high. It does not have a din of a carmelist, which you thought it would have had, but because you use it as your resting spot for your backpacks, Rishus HaRabim, that's the din of Rishus HaRabim. And somehow that prevents you from now using this unorthodox method of going over the top to get it, because in going over the top, you're going to pass through the airspace of Rishus HaRabim, and what you ultimately would be doing is passing something from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaYachid through Rishus HaRabim. And you cannot do that because that's part of the malacha, and that was the last Rashi that we did, that's part of the malacha of Moshit, of passing. Okay, and I believe that we're up to Amud Tes, right? Is that what we're up to? I think, right, that about 10 lines down in the middle wide lines is Rashi Amud Tes. This is a bima of 9 tfachim. Dafke Tes. It's specifically 9 tfachim, this bima, and therefore you have to say the branch as well is 9 tfachim off the ground. That's the case of the branch, not 10 tfachim, not 8 tfachim, but specifically 9 tfachim. How does that work? So Dafke Noka Tes Kedamar beYitzias Shabbos, like we say in Masechah Shabbos, the Pachos begimel arismichti. If it's less than 3 tfachim off the ground, then that ground is considered. Then that area above between 3 tfachim and the ground is considered the ground, and you have no problem therefore taking anything from there. The Darsei Le'Rabim Gimel Tes, because people trample upon that area from 3. The Darsei Rabim, because people trample upon that, and that's called the ground. And therefore, it can't be there because then you'd be allowed to take it. You couldn't say there wouldn't be any. You wouldn't be answering the problem. Begin with ates lo darsi lo midras darsi law from 3 to 9. People certainly do not trample upon things that are between 3 and 9 tfachim. They go va because of its height. V'lo kos ksufim mikasfila. Nor do they rest their stuff on them. They shinamucha l'kasev because it's too low to rest upon. Hilkach lav rishus harabim he. Therefore, it's not considered rishus harabim elo carmelis. Okay, and then again, there'd be no reason why you wouldn't be allowed to take it from above, even if it was in other words, if the branch was between 3 and 9. But not quite 9, then going over the branch would be fine because you wouldn't be going through Rishus Harabim, you'd be going through a carmelis. If you're going through a carmelis, there's no problem. Why is there no problem? Not that you're allowed to carry things through a carmelis, but it's only rabbinic, and we know we're working with the whole function of Rebbe that anything Beit Hashmashah, which is rabbinic, gets waived. We've got like 9 different variables we got to be flowing in our minds when we
care about the thickness
do this Gemara. What?
As this loaf of bread, it's at 9, and if the
loaf of bread itself, that.
So if it's like I don't know. 3 or 4.
You don't have enough variables. You need another variable. And you want to work on the loaf of bread.
10. In other words, if the bread is thicker than a tefach, it'll be above. The top of the bread will be above 10, and the bread is now.
No, I think it goes by where it's resting.
It goes by the bottom, not by the top.
I think so. But yeah, we don't need more issues. Hilkach lavrishus rabim. Therefore would not. Okay, so you hilka lav rishus rami elo. Therefore, that would not be considered rishus rami. Elo karmelis tes, but if you have a karmelis of exactly 9, okay, which is fitting chazil ksufe, it's fitting for resting your backpacks on. Rishus rami rishus rabim. Okay, and it would be considered like rishus rami. Masora rishus yachid. If it would be 10 already, it would be rishus yachid. Anything between 9 and 10 would be considered a perfect a place to rest your backpacks. It would be low enough to be considered Rishus Harabim. It wouldn't be high enough to be considered Rishus Yachid. And it's that area that we're talking about where that branch was before it went elevated, the branch that went out horizontally, and therefore your chop to try to go above, right, climb up the tree and go across this way, can't work here because you're going through the airspace of Rishus Harabim, and that would be thumbs down because that would be a Nisa Deraisa. While we're willing to waive the Rabbanan Dik Yisurim Ben Hashmoshos, we're not willing to waive the Raisa Dik Yisurim Ben Hashmoshos. Okay, so we can take a deep breath and then get even more complicated. So my Rebbe Umay Rabbanan. So if you notice, we had just mentioned that this follows Rebbe, who had said that things that Ben Hashmoshos, rabbinic issues Ben Hashmoshos, get waived. So where do we have this? Where's this rooted in? Where do you get this Rebbe and Rabbanan situation that you can hang your hat on, that according to Rebbe, Ben Hashmoshos, things are waived? Where did it come from? Do we have anything explicitly on the record? So it's not so explicit, but we can figure it out, hopefully. So let's see. So my Rebbe, my Rabbanan, the Tanya, I'll tell you how I know it. Because it says in the Brisa, if you put it on a tree, above 10 tfachim, ein eruve eruv. The Eruv is not valid, as we just said. So this is a brisa that basically is...
It's the Mishnah.
Okay, which many brises do. But they normally, when they repeat it, they sometimes can repeat it straight up, which is not a kasha, but very often when they repeat it, they add some more things to it that... actually, I think I missed some Rashis. We did. I'm sorry. V'zorak. Let's go back for a minute. Sorry. Right. So this was Ula's statement that if you have an Amid Rishus Harabim and you throw something on it, you're chayiv. Okay, so we skipped two Rashis. V'zorak mitchilas arbel sov dalid. So you threw it from the beginning of 4 to the end of 4, so it traveled 4 amas in Rishus Harabim, which is the requisite amount that you have to travel. V'noch al gabav, and then rested on top of this Amud, which was 9 tfachim up and 4 tfachim wide, because you have the requisite uprooting and resting from the beginning of Dalit to the end of Dalit, like we learned in Gemara Shabbos, B'Rishus Harabim. Avol ein Rab Mekasolav, but if the Rabbim don't rest on this Amud, Avagav Zorok Dalit Amis B'Rishus Harabim, but since even though you threw it 4 Amis in Rishus Harabim, Kivnu Ave Hanoch B'Rishus Harabim Potter, since it didn't rest in Rishus Harabim, it would be Potter, because if you rest on a Carmelis, then you're Potter. Or certainly if you rest on a Makam Patur. So it's got to rest in Rishus Harabim. So the only way it can rest in Rishus Harabim, if it's 9 tfachim off the ground, is if this is a thing that's used as a resting stop for people as they are walking by, they put their backpacks on. So this is Ula's base halacha that we use, and we adapt it to the tree case, as we mentioned in the earlier Rashi.
And what are we Patur for? So I make sure I understand this.
You Patur from breaking Shabbos. The word Patur means you're exempt from the prohibition of breaking Shabbos, which means you don't have to bring a carbon. If you did it b'shogeg, you're not required to bring a carbon. If you did it b'mezid, you're not obligated with a death penalty. You're Patur. You're off the hook on a derisic level. And generally, whenever you see the word Patur, when it comes to Shabbos, it's Patur Avalotzer. It's exempt from the obligation, but it's prohibited rabbinically. So
very Jewish. You're Patur, but don't do it.
That's my life.
Okay.
All of our lives.
Baruch Hashem.
Rishus Harabim is within 3 tfachim.
Yeah, no, right. If it's below 3, then it has part of Rishus Harabim. Correct. Okay.
You're talking about the ground now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back here. So now we're ready for the Gemara. So we said, what is this Rebbe and Rabbanan situation? So we started the Brisa. The Tanya Nosam Elon Lamayel Me'asar Tfachim and Eruv Erev. So if you put it above 10, the Erev is not good. Okay, why is it not good? Let's just hold the Rashi right now and just keep going, because Michael's bothered. Why, isn't this exactly the Mishnah? So Rashi reaffirms that it's exactly the Mishnah. Ukudu kimna masisan, and as we established the case of the Mishnah, b'niskavin lishvois be'ikroi, your intention was to be kona shvisa, to acquire your position at the base of the tree. And the branch goes out of the Dalanamas to avoid Rava's halacha that your whole Dalanamas is one place. It's like Rishus Yachid. So in order to avoid that, the thing is outside, the bread is outside the Dalanamas. And then the tree goes up. So it's the exact same scenario as we had before, except we don't have a diagram because we're in Shari Tzedek. No, it's okay. But we saw it on the big screen yesterday. It's also no, okay. We'll be fine for now. Let's see. Maybe we'll need it later. Lamata. So it's the same, right? So we're still in the same world as we were till now. We're not in a different world. Okay. So Lamata Miasara is still now back to the Gemara. If you place it on a branch which is below 10, Lamata Miasara Tfachim, Eruv, then the Eruv is valid. The Asa Litlo, but you're not allowed to take it. So now we're getting a little bit more information. We're getting a little bit more elaboration of this situation that even though it is below 10 and the Eruv is valid, don't think for a second that Shabbos morning, if you want some challah with your cholent, that you can take this challah off the tree, off the branch. It's not going to happen. Why not? Because it's Shabbos already. And you're allowed to use trees, right? You can't use trees on Shabbos.
You can't climb the tree.
Well,
the tree's a shelf.
Who's a what? Yeah.
I mean, it's only 9. I mean, you don't have to climb the tree in order to get 9 tefachim.
No, but you just the very fact that you're taking the challah off the tree using the tree. Once something is on a tree, that's called. At that point, it's called using the tree. Correct. Okay.
You can't have a tree house.
Correct. Okay.
Oh.
We also lit low. Okay. Let's look at the next Rashi. You cannot take this challah, as tempting as it is. Okay, direct from Continental, it's still not allowed to be taken. Afilu high dilamata me'asara oslitlo l'mocha b'Shabbos simratzul ochlo. If you want to eat it the next morning, even though it's below 10, it's not a rishus yachid. So why can't I go ahead and take it and eat it? Bishum de mishtamish bilon, because you're using a tree and you cannot take challah or anything off a tree on Shabbos. Afilu hachi. But even though you can't take it on Shabbos morning, the Erev still works ben hashmashos. The kivan, the shimush ilon shvus drabanan, who since the usage of a tree is a rabbinic injunction, okay, because of the fear you might tear down a branch and all the concerns we had there. Legozolov ben hashmashos, right? Our good friend Rebbe saves us over here because there was no gzeir on these situations ben hashmashos. We have a boil of mishkala yahi shaita matzi shakul. If you theoretically wanted to take it during that time, you could have taken it during that time. Okay? And therefore, it's considered acceptable. Kol Isur Shabbos v'yontiv devin rabbanan kari shvus. Here's a nice rule for us to remember, hang it on our wall. Any Isur on Shabbos and Yontiv, which is rabbinic, is called a shvus. A shvus is not used in other rabbinic terms, right? You wouldn't call it the prohibition of having cooked chicken and cheese or milk, right, would not be called a shvus, because it doesn't involve the Shabbos or Yontif Isser. It needs to involve a Shabbos Yontif Isser, and that's why it's called a shvus. And if you find the case, then you have a kasha on Rashi, but don't hold your breath. Okay, so let's see here. So we have the two cases, and we're good. Now we're going to another case. B'toch shlosha, if this challah is within 3 tefachim off the ground, mutter litlo, you're allowed to take it. Let's keep rolling with the Rashis. B'toch gimel hiniach be ilon lamata mishosha samach lekarka. You put it so close to the ground that it's within 3 tefachim of the ground, then you're allowed to take it. Right? You don't have this issue of using the tree. Why not? Why aren't I consider using the tree? He says, "Mutter litlo b'Shabbos the kol lamata mishosha afil beilon." This is a nice little chiddush for us to remember. Anything within 3 tefachim of the ground, even by a tree, like love. There was no gzeira on using the tree in the area below 3 tefachim. The v'ka'ara semichta. It's like an extended part of the ground. V'achinami tam perak basra, and that's what we're going to learn in the last perak of Eruvin. Hayishwashin gavoyim in aretz gimel lo yoshev aleim. If there were 3 tefachim off the ground, the roots, you can't sit on it. But the minute it's below, if it's below 3, you could, because it's like sitting on the ground, which you're allowed to do. But if it's above 3, you can't sit on it anymore because it's like you're sitting on a tree, and that's not acceptable. Okay, we'll get to that Bez Hashem in a couple of months, I guess, whatever. Okay, so we've covered 3 cases so far: above 10, below 3. Now let's get to case number 4. Nosim b'kakala. You put the erev in a basket. You put the challah in a basket. You're not going to sit and leave an expensive challah out there, to the animals, whatever. So you want to protect it by putting it in a basket. Utlo be'ilon. And now you hung this basket onto the tree. So then, afilu ma'al mi'asar tfachim eruv erev. Divrei Rebbe. So this is a nice challenge. Then even if it's above 10 tfachim, which till now we said you couldn't use, here we're saying the Erev is a good Erev. So we'll have to see what happened up. You put it in a basket. You put the basket above 10. Above 10 we said it was Rishus HaYachid, and you're in Rishus HaRabim. So what now made it accessible to you that you can go and take it and make it into a valid Erev? V'chom omrim, Chum say no. Well, I shouldn't say they say no. They just say, we don't know what they're going on exactly. We'll see. V'chom omrim kol mokum she'asa litlo, ein Eruv Erev. Okay, any place which you're not allowed to take the Erev, you're not allowed to take the challah, it's not a good Erev. It would seem like a pretty fundamental base, straight up halach. If you can't take it, it's not a good Erev. So I have to see what the Chumrah is really saying, right? Because we have now a bunch of cases, we don't know exactly what the Chumrah are going on. Let's just see here, let's just catch up in the Rashi before we get to the understanding of the Chachamim. Nasa b'kakala, back to Rashi. Nasa b'kakala, afilu ma'al mi'asara uve erev. L'kama farish b'she'ena ilan rochav dalid. So we're going to explain that the case is that the ilan is not 4 tfachim wide at the point where the basket is hanging. Okay, he has it there? Okay. What? Yeah, okay. I hear. Okay.
Talking about the
I want to pass around the phone.
About the branch?
Yeah. Right, the branch of the tree.
4 tefachim in diameter.
So where's the branch?
It could be a tree, but it doesn't matter. The branch of the tree, it doesn't matter. I mean, but you hung it.
Yeah.
No, it's not a telephone pole, I guess. Telephone pole is probably 4 tefachim in diameter.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess you had a branch that's sticking out. Okay, it could be that's a tree. It doesn't. Yeah.
And still, it's above 10 tefachim being hung.
Okay, and the base of what it's hanging on is not 4 tefachim wide.
Hanging on this branch.
Okay.
Okay, so it's just
Oh,
hanging.
so it has nothing to do with the trunk of the tree. It's just the branch.
It's just hanging there.
It's attached to it.
Not no base for it,
Yeah.
right?
Well, okay.
The branch is only in the way. It's not.
No, it's hanging on the branch. There's a handle.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we're gonna explain it later on. V'yasa little loga sinan. Okay, we're not going to be gyrus the words asa litlo. The gasinan amai mitamal kamana rabbanon. V'amar leimo kasav rabbanon sudden asurin. The Rebbe lo mitama. Okay, so we're not going to. I guess maybe we have to go weiter relief for this. Because we're going to be wondering about the halach of tzaddim, which we're not going to get to today. The idea of the sides. Okay, the Rebbe lo mitama. And we don't have any type of wonderment on Rebbe. Mishum the kaimer rabban alev v'omrin kol makom she'asa litlo lefika